On the last episode, we reached Diamond 2 in Korea. That's where we're starting off today. And in Game 1, we're playing double jungle Sion. We end up absolutely dominating the enemy team at level 1, completely securing the entire enemy red side, and now we're looking towards this top lane. Our team has 5 kills, and the enemy Lee, he's going to be on the bot side because there's nothing for him to farm at red. For those who are curious, all the question mark pings are from the Elise, and she was saying that she thinks the strategy is crazy, at least according to Google Translate anyway. We managed to secure the red buff from this Lee Sin, which means we're now level 4 and he's level 2. Rather than chasing Lee Sin down, I immediately look for the next objective because I can see Ezreal is coming for the kill, and the sooner we start pathing over to the Lee's blue side, the more camps we're going to deny from him. I take the camps that are available and then path back over to our Raptors. While we're crossing, we see the Lee Sin is farming the mid lane. This gives both junglers the intel that he's going for a camp that I've already taken, which means this Elise should have ran as soon as possible, but she ends up getting caught on her way out and handing a kill back over to the Lee Sin. We now use the information that we have. So Lee Sin, he's on the other side of the map to us, which means we can invade his blue side, and now we're in this position where the wave has crashed into the tower and we can tower dive, the exact same thing that we did on the top side of the map earlier in this game. Pay attention to how every single time I die with the passive, I'm using it to clear waves, but not steal the minions. We've now respawned and come to the mid lane. Elise has secured all 3 of the voids. Look at their levels. Both primary junglers are only level 4, and we're pushing level 6. This exchange wasn't perfect by any means, but we do end up trading 1 for 1 and it gets us level 6. This is very important because we can now go from our death to the bot lane and they're not going to expect us to have our ultimate. Nine minutes into this game, and we have 6 kills and 5 assists. We are absolutely loaded when it comes to cash. We've already got 4 voids secured, so rather than going and chasing kills, I decide it's best that we stay and get the last 2, which gives us 2 voidlings per player and hopefully being a win condition in the future. I'm going to assume that you're just like me. You're watching us win every single team fight, yet when you look at the team score, it's dead even. What this means is that something on our team isn't going well. We have an issue. I'm not sure what it is just yet. The only thing we know for certain at this point in the game is that we are doing so much work and it's not really paying off. We're not getting a big lead. We're barely breaking even. 20 minutes into this game, and this is the first time one of our cheese plays just missed, only by a little bit. Even though there was a couple of misplays by me in there, it does end up working out, and I use my passive to block the Camille's stun onto Rek'Sai, which allows him to escape with 2 kills, so now Rek'Sai is a very big top laner. This is the first team fight that didn't go in our favor. We really shouldn't have taken a 4v5, but there are a couple of team fighting issues that occurred as well. Rek'Sai left his position as tank to go for a kill, and that completely allowed the enemy team to walk through us. 2 minutes later, the Talon manages to get a pick onto the enemy ADC, and we start rotating towards the Baron when the Katarina manages to pick off our ADC. The timing was very awkward for us. We had one camp until we got the upgraded jungle item. That's why we were out of position, or else we too would have been around that Baron defending the ADC. I end up re-engaging onto the enemy team. A teleport comes in, and I get hard punished. Off the back of my death, they secure the Baron, and now we are trying to stop their recalls and potentially get rid of some of these Baron buffs. Unfortunately, that wasn't a great idea. We end up dying one by one, and I'm forced to run behind the enemy lines and attempt to take the objectives. We're trying to change the game plan now. We're thinking our team fight doesn't look as good as it once was, and maybe split pushing is the option for us. We tried our best to chase down the enemy team, but they managed to escape and recall with the Baron buff. We take the Drake as a consolation prize, but we also secure our first inhibitor, confirming that the split push option is the way to go for our team. And now the game resets. All our team really needs to do is make sure we hold on to our towers, but for some reason the Rek'Sai felt pressured and he wanted to hard engage a 4v5 in the top lane instead of marking the Camille. I get what he's going for, but I can also see in the game, and I can see it while reviewing this game, even if we hard commit into the enemy team, they simply have the ability to peel away, and during that time the Camille is going to run through the base. Best case scenario, we win a 4v5 and then we still lose the game. It was just not a great call. He forced me to rotate down there to deal with it, and while I was down there they engaged and won the team fight. Not to mention I can't even match the Camille 1v1. She was going to go through the base no matter what. We end up losing this game. We get demoted back to Diamond 3. But hey, that's no problem. You're almost 10 minutes into this video, and I'm assuming that you're enjoying it. So if you are, leave a comment and like the video. It really does help with the algorithm. This content, it takes a very long time to edit, so your support is always welcome. I've now done my civic duty as Tilterella and messed with the jungler, which means we can come back to the bot lane. Upon arrival, we are both level 1 and they're level 2, so the option of killing them, it's just not there. The best choice is to just pressure, and I do that by hovering. I hover around the back, and then eventually I see the jungler is attempting to take that red buff again. So I don't speak fluent Korean, but from what I understand, this Jin is very angry, and rightfully so. We did leave his lane in a very terrible state, and he ended up dying because of it, but sometimes you gotta make small sacrifices. I've got a game plan. My plan is to sack the bot lane and get our jungler very far ahead. We've already made some strides towards that in this early game, and the primary reason we are focusing on this is because it's very hard to recover the bot lane after what happened. We've set our Jhin back very far, and he's also very mad. The combination of those two things means that it's quite unlikely that we can turn it around. Making sure not to steal the kill from Lilia. Now she is on 4 kills in 6 minutes. Skipping ahead, we've gone to the bot lane and the enemy team is trying to stack me. What they don't realize is the fed Lilia is right behind the wall. Lilia picks up 1 more kill before dying, then Jhin gets a shutdown. This is a very big step in the right direction for him coming back into this game, so immediately we come back to the bot lane and take advantage of the fact that they have no vision. New win condition has now opened up, and it includes this Jhin. The Lilia and the Jhin, they are going to carry this game for us. It does go to show you that just because I write you off in the early game doesn't mean I won't change my opinion later once you pick up some gold. At the end of the day, I'm just here to try and win. Once the ball started rolling for our team, there was no stopping it. The enemy team comp couldn't handle us running at them, and they very quickly folded. Every single team fight that we took, it went in our favor. Eventually, the enemy team aced, we took the Baron, and then they forfeited. We secure the second game of today. Now we're back in Diamond 2. In game number 3, we are in the bot lane up against a Thresh. This isn't exactly what we look for when we play Sion support. Thresh can be quite annoying for us. Anyway, I looked to get an engage onto this Thresh early, but didn't realize that Gragas pinged the Lee Sin's location, and he managed to come down and gank us. I gave 1 kill over to the enemy team, and my Ashe made it very clear to me that he wasn't happy about it multiple times, ignoring my engages and not helping up until this moment here when it was a guaranteed kill. Presumably after I got those 2 kills in the bot lane, he started trusting me again. Little did he know that would be a very big mistake. Whoops. Well, at least the Tryndamere came bot lane to clean up the kills, so it doesn't end up being that bad. He picks up the first kill onto the Thresh, and he's about to pick up one on the enemy ADC until he decides that his flash no longer works. Questionable, but forgivable. After seeing this Yasuo teleport to the bot lane, I already knew that he was going to be one of our star players this game, so from here on out, I put a lot of focus into trying to help him get gold. We've just skipped about 5 minutes into the future. This is our first team fight. It starts off with Tryndamere getting caught and dying. Tryndamere dying before every single objective and teamfight becomes a very frequent trend in this game, and that's exactly why the Aurora, she is hyper-fed, and we managed to get that shutdown onto the Yasuo. We're skipping our way through this game. Now 4 more minutes into the future. A lot of 1-3-1 is happening. It's not very successful, so we're trying to get this fight in the mid lane instead. The fight doesn't go in our direction, the Yasuo gets taken out, and our team wants to forfeit, but rather than forfeiting, I'd rather pull the wave. This denies them the ability to push into our base, but it does encourage the enemy team to rotate towards Baron. But this Baron play, it's what we want them to do. They're trapped in a corner, we have teleport, and we can potentially turn this game right here and now. Both teams played that as perfectly as they could have. All of us except for this Tryndamere, who for whatever reason refused to come to the Baron and just perma-split. You didn't get to really see it because I've skipped 10 minutes into the future, but the entire game, that's literally all he did. Split and feed. Split and feed. Eventually, we started trying to split ourselves, and that's how they got themselves in this situation. We were defending the base while Yasuo and the Gragas split push. They opened an inhib, but it wasn't enough. They got collapsed on, and eventually, the enemy team was able to kill them, and once they were dead, it was very easy for them to secure the Baron buff. We've dragged this game all the way to 37 minutes, and we managed to get an edge on the enemy team. We've got position on this objective, and to our complete surprise, Mr. Tryndamere decides to come and help us for the first time ever, and he walks into the Ari and dies without using his ultimate. That's how the final team fight starts off. It starts off how it has the entire game, 4v5. And yes, I know that it sounds like I'm complaining a lot about the Tryndamere, given the fact that I haven't really shown you all of his death. But once you see the scoreboard at the end, you'll kind of understand why it was a very frustrating game, and definitely the Tryndamere's fault. Anyway, we did all try our best, and we held on for as long as we could. This ends up being a loss, and Tryndamere ends the game with 19 deaths. Once again, we find ourselves back in Diamond 3. We've hit a bit of a wall. We're stuck around this zone here, and we need to get out of it as soon as possible. And to achieve that, we bring out the Brawl. So this tilted me quite a lot. The Kaiser took a bunch of free damage. I had to use my shield to block it. We've then got the Yuumi Sivir combo that's going to heal up, and they're going to push us out of lane. So I felt pressured to go in. I ended up fucking up the combo and then deciding the best option now is to start roaming. Most of my efforts went towards helping the Lee Sin. There was a lot of squishy targets on the enemy team, including the Teemo top, Syndra mid. These are all champions that can be abused. And that factored into why I decided to stay roaming this whole game. We've now skipped to 20 minutes, a massive leap. The scoreline is dead even. All of a sudden, we go from an even game to completely acing the enemy team really over nothing, and this allowed us to open the bottom inhibitor and have a shot at securing this Baron. I'm not sure if any of you guys realized the movie magic that just happened earlier. We actually skipped 8 minutes into the future at that Baron pit. I'm trying my best to speed this game along. This video is already almost at 25 minutes. We end up opening all of the enemy team's structures, but before we could end the game, they managed to get a pick onto Camille, which then opened them up to try and take this Baron in a 4v5.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella.